Most people actually start using their brains when approaching death. When people are bedridden on their deathbed, then they start to realize, I wish I lived my life the way I wanted to. And some of them be sobbing. Some of them don't even have regrets. Maybe they're too far gone. Or they just had enough, fed up and all that. Maybe just disappointed and frustrated. But yeah, why did it take this long for you to realize that you should have done what you should have done when you were younger and when you still had it in you? It's always a common thing. It's like a commonality where people are in their old age and they're on their deathbed, bedridden, and could barely move. Some can't even move. Can't even help themselves and all that. I should have done what I wanted, yeah. All these sob stories, and then 8.2 billion and counting of humans on this planet. Do we expect each and every one of us, to do the same things? Or the G oven mittenments, the GOVRNMENT, don't have to do that. They get to die happy because they're so filthy rich and all that. Even the ELITEs. But us working folks, us surviving folks, when our time is almost up or when we can barely do anything, we are too sick. Moving around in wheelchairs. We need our crutches. We need those support things, that grandmothers use. Old ladies use that thing. I don't know what you call that. Is that a tram or something? To support them, some sort of support. But yeah, the whole time when they were young, they did not, for some reason, did not use their brains. They still think they got a lot of time. That's the misconception. They still think they got a lot of time to change and do what they want. When do you start working? You started working at probably most likely your mid-20s or later 20s, right? Or it could even before your 20s. So imagine retiring in your 60s and all that. Count the years. Unless you lost your jobs, then maybe you were neeting for a while, NEET, not in education, employment or training. But other than that, you most likely worked for so many years and then you never thought of it. You just think it's okay. You still have time. I can always change. That's what you think. It's always when it's too late then we finally realize that, oh, it's too late. I can't rewind time. And then all we can do is just share the advice to the youngsters. Don't do what I did. Just like the senior citizens, don't get married. If you could visit your 8-year-old self, 10-year-old self, what would you advise him or her? Don't get married. Don't fall in love. Don't this, don't that. Don't these, don't those. Yeah, do what you want, kiddo. Always do what you want. Always follow your heart and all that. Yeah. But it's not a reality, it's just a wishful thinking, right? It's an educated wish also, in some sense. Because you can't rewind time and tell your younger self, it's just imaginary. But how about we be a little realistic? Yeah, some people have. As in, those senior citizens have told their young or other young people to always follow their passions and pursuits and to not do what they did. But guess what? Some of them don't. Because they're so arrogant. Or they are just completely lost of life and they feel so hopeless, like shocked. PTSD, shell shocked. Maybe that's why some of them can't even speak. No offense. No offense. Because they're just in absolute shock. They can't even open their mouths. Because their time's almost up. The bell is The bell is tolling. For whom the bell tolls, the clock is ticking. Yeah, but when you were in your younger days, you always thought you had so much time, right? Especially when you've been told life is short. Live as if you're gonna die tomorrow. Yeah, live as if it's your last. It's also like the green book, Like the guy said, his father told him, if you work, work. If you eat, eat as if it's your last meal. If you laugh, laugh. Do everything 100%. But obviously don't spoil yourself too much, otherwise you'll be drained of, your support system, so to speak, which is made of paper, which is also known as money. Money is our support system at this point, because we need to nourish ourselves with food and water and all that, and then we need currencies to purchase, otherwise we'll be falling sick. We lack the nutrients in our internal environment, homeostasis, and then we fall sick and then go to the hospital, and then it's more expensive and all that, and blah blah blah. A support system to support a support system that is supporting us. Say that 10,000 times fast. A support system to support the support system that is supporting us, which is money, paying your bills, hospital bills and all that, medication, so that they can also upkeep and maintain the life support machines and all the equipment for the upcoming or future patients, whoever is suffering from that and all that, blah blah blah, this, that, and the third. But yeah, it's just interesting how people finally use their brains all the way. I'm not saying they never used it when they were younger. I'm saying they used it almost 100%, even though that's impossible, or we just don't use it. But I'm saying most of it is when it's always too late. Is when they are on their deathbed, bedridden, and then they regret this, that. It's, you hear it most times. It's so boring. That's why life is also boring. It's always this recycled, repeated blueprint, framework, all these things that you have to follow and do without questioning, and this and that. 8.2 billion people and counting. You expect us to, each and every one of us, to do the same things. Are you stupid? Are you out of your mind? Are you kidding? Do you not hear yourself speak? Oh, but for some reason you're the odd one out. You're the exception. You don't have to do it. What makes you that? Why is it that we have to follow a majority of us, but you don't have to? After all, you're 46 chromosomes, right? After all, you're Homo sapien, right? After all, you're human, right? Yeah, the 4 sixes, the XX and XY. Any one of us, most of us can even bludgeon you and butcher you, can beat you up to no end. And somehow you think you have the power and all that. You're good for you because you have highly trained soldiers and securities and all that protecting you. Even have hardwares like machines, robots. Yeah, good for you. But once all of that is malfunctioned and stripped down, it's not operating in full function, in full order. All systems are not go. Not all systems are go. Yeah, then you are ours. We will take the pitchforks and jam it into your torso and lift you up high. And we'll be burning you, Okay, a little too graphic. We will be executing you, let's just put it that way. But yeah, it's just funny. You regret. And I thought people say live life with no regrets, But there's still a good handful of people doing that when it's too late. Don't do what I did, don't get married, blah blah blah. It's definitely regretful right there, definitely full of regrets. And then families also like, don't learn. It's even more ridiculous and stupid when their parents have told them to follow what they want to do, follow their pursuits, to do what they want and all that. And then when those kids have kids, grandkids, they become parents, for some reason they don't forward the message, pay it forward. They tell their kids to do what they want instead, because they probably also don't have much time and all that, or they're just too lazy, or they're just arrogant, Don't do what you want to do what I want you to do. And then this is how you have a lot of people always doing things that they are told to do instead of what they tell themselves to do, what they want to do. They're always doing what other people want them to do. It's because they don't share the message, Your grandpa, your grandma told me when I was younger to always follow your passions and pursuits and goals in life. And then you also have these parents saying it's not realistic, be realistic, blah blah blah. It's more like trying to manipulate you and put you down instead of being supportive, instead of trying to maybe find information and details and all that and then sharing it with the child. You can do this, you can do that, and then if you can, you forward it over there, got all these companies and institutes and all that. They will welcome you, with open arms. They're looking for people like you. But no, you have all these corporate jobs and all that are almost like, well, it's never full, isn't it? That's why they're always wanting more of these slave cucks, slave workers, slave to the grave, as one of the YouTubers that I watched said, slave to the grave. Or slave to the urn, your cremation, your ashes in the urn, URN, ashes to ashes, dust to dust, you know. But even then, let's say they are full, right? They're not hiring anymore these corporate jobs, but people still want to work there, still trying to fight for positions. Why? Because it's much more comfortable, air conditioned and all that compared to the blue collared. And I'm not saying blue collared is any better, but I prefer blue collar than white collar. And then there's this term called new collars, which is pretty much the white collar. It's the terminology that's different and all that. It's funny. But yeah, it's by the looks of it, I think there's gonna be another good batch of people that's gonna be the same, living regrets, all that. Unless, I mean, yeah, obviously they also try to balance, work life, do things on the side and all that and this, and it's most likely because they have the means to do it. But some don't have the means to do it, so they have no choice but to stick to one route and direction. But even then, those that don't have, they find a way to do it, which is good. But those that have it good, they fuck it up. They have all these unlimited resources almost, and then they just screw it up. But some of them, even though they had it good, they don't want to do it, and it's like me, I'll be honest. I have it quite good, but I don't want to do it. I want to do it my way and all. And I'm not a spoiled brat and all that. It's because I've noticed, obviously, and I realized and I've registered in my brain that this life is short, so don't waste it. Do what you want, bro. Do what you want, boy. Do what you want, kiddo. Do what you want. Don't listen to what people tell you to do. Listen to yourself, your heart, your beating heart. Ba-boom, ba-boom. That's beating every day for you. It's not beating every day for them. They can keel over and pass away. Your heart, and as long as you're still alive, your heart is still beating. So that's evidence in itself. That's proof in the pudding that your heart is yours. Your life is yours. Because your heart is still beating when that person passed away. So who said your heart belongs to them? And this is not some romantic love, interest and all that. No, I'm talking realistic. All those fantasies aside. And I'm not against fantasy. I'm just trying to make a point here in this video, in this report. Realistically, logically, your heart is still beating, alright? Your aorta, your tricuspid valve, your bicuspid valve, your left atrium and your right atrium is still in full function and all that. It's for you, even though that person passed away years ago. So yeah, follow what you want, do what you want, instead of what others tell you to do. Do not live for regrets. Do not be regretful when you're on your deathbed or whatever, when your time is almost up, you don't have much time and all that. Live happily, or live happily, as happy as possible, It's time for a big change. It's time for a revolution, a planet revolution. It's 2025, come on. 5 years and it's 2030. You still want to live like this. Corporate. Cubicle, and then regrets, and all this repeated vicious cycle. Bloody stupid. Use your brains right now. Don't wait till you're old, Don't wait until you're approaching death, then only you want to use your brains. So I'm gonna sign out now, rambled quite a lot. Be you, do you. Adios.